Is it okay to have family pictures and photos displayed in the house? The issue of photography has divided the scholars for actually quite a while. Since the beginning and the advent of photography, it was seen as a major shock and a major kind of prohibited thing, and then people started to get used to it and understand it and maybe reassess their opinions on whether all of the prohibitions that were mentioned in a hadith, and they are certainly scary, and they do mention this yani musawwirun, those people who you could theoretically, that phrase today is used for the word photographers, and therefore many scholars said it's completely haram to take photography, to take photos, use them to draw, etc. And I just want to say that I do follow the opinion that actually it is permissible to draw and to take photos, especially photos in its digital format. I'm from those that do not believe the prohibition is referring to these folks, although there does need to be a modicum of care, and that is to aggrandize and to make the subject that you are preparing into something more than what it is, so that it becomes almost a challenge to Allah and His creative ability, His unique ability of creation, and you are trying to mimic that in some pseudo fashion. That's where the problem applies, and that's kind of happening. For example, if you take a picture and then you put it on the wall, you see all these rulers and dictators and of all the various countries, that they insist on their power being consolidated with their pictures in all state buildings and hotels and whatnot, and that is a really problematic thing. And in our own local versions, our families as well. So I think that we should avoid that entirely. Yes, there are some that said that it shouldn't even be in the house at all. I believe that it can be hidden. I believe that if the picture itself is not being aggrandized or not being made to make so mu'azzam or ta'zim, or it's not being made high and important and whatever, then I think that's allowed. I think the process is allowed. I think the hadith which prohibit it are not referring to those that are doing art and involved in graphic design and so on and so forth. I don't believe that it applies to that, and especially so there's a difference of opinion when it comes to creating human forms and then animal forms, and then those which are not even real, like cartoon characters or fake kind of images, etc. I think that's entirely different and permissible, but they should not be on display. A face that can be recognized as a real human face should not be on display on the walls. If for no other reason than the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, لا تدخل الملائكة بيتا فيه سورة. The Prophet ﷺ said that the angels do not enter a house in which there is a picture, and some said that means a picture anywhere, but I believe it means that which is proudly displayed and challenging the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So please, your family portraits and photos and graduation pics and all the rest of it, hide it, put it in a drawer.